Hi, how's it going? We're going to talk about something very important. As you make steps in your musical career, you're going to have to run into the question of what am I willing to give, pay, or trade, not just to have music, but to have quality music. Quality is what separates the big dogs from the little fish in the pond. You don't want to just have music, you want to have quality every step of the way. We live in a very DIY culture, do it yourself. With the institution of YouTube, you can learn almost anything, and that's awesome. If you want to fix your toilet, alright, and save yourself about $600 because you don't have it, that's awesome. I applaud you. But when it comes to music, there's a principle I like to give to all the artists that I run into. Let the people who are great be great. Alright? You got a lot of artists out here. They're trying to be the Tyler Perry of music, right? And so, they're writing their own music. They're recording their own music from their at-home recording studio. They're mixing their own music. They're mastering their own music. They're packaging their own music because they printed it off at home on the computer. And so they're selling it, right? And they're making their videos, right? They're recording their own videos. They're editing their own videos. It's a very Tyler Perry mentality. I can do it all. And that's okay if you have the strength and the ability to do it. But here's the thing. Here's the problem with that mentality. Is that honestly, if you're really, really honest with yourself, you're only really great at one or two of those things, alright? The other ones you're kind of at, alright? Or at best, you're okay. You can squeak by with doing it yourself. But you're not great at it, alright? You can do it, but you're not great at it, alright? Here's a principle for you. Let those who are great be great. Let others fill in your weaknesses where they are strong. There's no sense in having this whole Tyler Perry mentality when your project could be, or your songwriting could be so much better than it is. But you're too busy trying to cut a corner. Alright? Now there is a difference between not having the means to do something, not having the budget to do it, and just being lazy and cutting a corner to save money. Listen, contract it out. If you are not an engineer, and I mean you are not a good engineer, stop trying to have at-home recording sessions. It's only going to mess up your quality, and it's going to show in your fan base. Listen, contract it out, okay? Let others who are great be great. Find a great engineer, let them be great. You stick to what you do best. Alright? Like I said, if you have to do something yourself because you do not have the means or the budget, that's different. But if you're just cutting corners, nah, can't roll with that. Let those who are great be great. Quality. I run into artists who, for some reason, they get it in their head that the kind of music that they do, or the message in their music, dictates the kind of quality they need. Nah, listen to me. If you are an artist, you are competing with every other artist out there. Essentially, you're a business, right? We talked about that in the last video. You're a business. Businesses compete, alright? You're competing with every other artist out there. Say I'm a rapper, so I'm going to talk from the rapper standpoint. Can your CD sit on a shelf exactly next to Kanye or Jay-Z's or your other favorite rappers that are out there? Can it sit next to a shelf and honestly deserve to be there? Not just from a lyrical standpoint. Can we talk about from a production standpoint or from a packaging standpoint? You know, can we talk about from a single standpoint? Does it deserve to be there? If you cannot answer that question, yes, does the quality, is there an industry standard quality there? And it can sit on a shelf with your favorite artist, then there is a problem. If you cannot say yes, there is a problem and you need to get it fixed. Alright? I say this because I care about you. Let me address something. The message in your music does not change the fact that you need to have quality. Listen, Christians, just because you say Jesus in your music does not change the fact that it actually needs to have quality. You need to actually be good at what you do. Listen, if you are not actually taking the time to ensure that there's quality in your music, which means if you're not an engineer, you're going to an engineer. You're getting in a recording studio and recording professionally. If you're not good at shooting videos, if you're not great at shooting videos, find somebody who is good, who is great. Go to them, hey, how can I make a deal with you to make this happen on my behalf? Listen, there's a lot of hungry videographers out here that are unknowns that are honestly really good at what they do. Listen, strike up a deal with them, see if you can't get something worked out in the best interest of you both if you don't have the budget. But listen, there is no sense, none, in you losing quality just because you want to cut a corner. Alright? Listen to me, hear me. This is important. Quality. There's 8,000 ways of how to go about this. But you need to have the quality. There is no... Stop it. Stop it with the cutting corners. Alright? Enough of it. I say this because I was that guy. My first album that I had, I mean, it was, and I spent not even my first album, to be honest with you, it was about my 5th album. Because each year I tried to do it myself, have this whole do-it-yourself mentality, right? So I recorded at home, I packaged it from my printer, and I did the best I could. I tried to make it look as professional as I knew how. But there was a couple of things that I was missing. One, the quality wasn't there because I'm not an engineer. You know, I'm not good at mixing. I'm not good at mastering. I'm not an engineer. Alright? 2, I was packaging it from my printer, right? I put the little picture on my computer from the little Roxio software that they had available, printed off my computer, stuck it in a slim jewel case, not a standard jewel case, right? And I would hand that out to my friends, right? Or lack thereof. And I did this about 5 albums. I tried this with about 5 albums, and I realized each time that I printed this out, hey, this is not quality. Alright? Listen to me. Get the quality that you need. There is so many ways to do it, but cutting corners is not acceptable. Alright? It was not until I stopped cutting corners that my music and my career advanced. I stopped cutting corners. I found ways, and I talked to people about finding ways of having the quality that I needed. Alright? Listen, quality. It's what separates people who affect thousands from people who affect very, very few. Because listen, nobody, alright, if you came to me and handed me your music on a tape, a cassette tape, right? You actually had one of those. I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to listen to squat that you are giving me. Almost. I mean, I'm just curious anyway, so I would be like amazed that you would have a tape. But say you did, and you try to pass that off at me as like quality, I'm going to look you in the face and I'm going to laugh. Because that's not quality. I can tell either one, you just don't know, and I'm going to feel bad for you, or two, you're not taking your music serious enough for me to take you serious. Alright? So do yourself a favor. Have quality. At Mspire Development, we want to keep giving you the tools and the knowledge to make steps in your music career so that you can be the artist you want to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep plugging videos. We're going to keep making this. We're going to keep giving you this knowledge, dropping it real, right here in real time. Alright? So subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the Facebook page. Ask me to make more videos. Ask me a question. I just might answer it. Alright? So, spread the word. I will see you guys later. Thank you very much. Deuces.